Hyperice and Nike share the same philosophy. The athlete is at the center of our product ideas.
Nike and Hyperice both obsess about the athlete and what's most important for them to succeed and to reach their potential.
Recovery is a big part. I mean, if you're not recovering, you're not healthy, you're not getting your legs back under you, your best ability is availability, to make sure that I'm always at my best every time I step on the field.
Throughout my entire career, warm-up as well as recovery is something that's very important to me. Recovering as a sprinter is a day-to-day job because I have to get that body ready for tomorrow.
And it's our job to not only listen to the voice of the athlete, but deliver for the athlete.
So that's why Nike needed Hyperice and Hyperice needed Nike.
The concept behind Hyperboot was to reimagine what footwear could be.
In order to do a project of this complexity, you really need the expertise in footwear.
And combine that with Hyperice's expertise in recovery technology. We knew that Nike was going to bring a beautiful design to the project. Our technology had to work within that design.
This was a shoe that we didn't have to worry so much about performance like we do with a basketball shoe, a running shoe, but it still needed to look very elegant.
In a product like the Hyperboot, there's an interplay between the design and the actual functioning technology in the shoe.
And so selection of materials was super important to work with that technology.
And so getting that symphony to work together is crucial to delivering a great product.
What's truly important for any of our designs at Nike is to get the athletes involved as soon as possible. Once we had that athlete validation, we knew we were on the right track.
Based on the feedback we got from the athletes early on, the athletes were very focused on the heat and compression around the Achilles and the ankle area.
As a football player, everything is used around with your ankles, your feet, because you got to move around, you got to make cuts, you got to be able to stop on a dime.
Without my ankles, I wouldn't be able to put the force that I needed to the ground because I definitely have to warm those up the most.
The primary technology in the Hyperboot is the dynamic air compression from the Normatec. Normatec has become foundational to the warm-up and recovery process for competitive athletes all over the world. And by putting Normatec into footwear, we give them the access to use that technology wherever they go. So what we did was we took the dynamic air compression from the Normatec and combined that with the Hyperheat technology from the Venom. And we found that when we combine those technologies, using the air compression to drive the heat deeper into the body, we found a force multiplier effect. That the heat went deeper into the body and we saw better mobility in the joint and a deeper penetration of heat into the tissue. Using the thermal imaging, you can see how fast the shoe heats up and how deep that heat goes into the body. You actually see the heat travel up through the calf and into the leg. And that's why we're getting this response from the athlete that my legs feel lighter.
What's so amazing is the fact that the athletes feel this immediately. Some of the most consistent wording that I've ever heard in any one product that I've worked on. Their feet and ankles are loose and they're light.
I know when I have it on and I play in the cold weather late in the season, December, January, I need to make sure that my joints and my ligaments feeling right. I could just throw that on before I go out there and warm up and actually put some cleats on.
It's not very common for a recovery device to actually have both heat and compression put together. So when the boots were presented to me, I put them on my feet and turned them on. The two together is just like a genius idea from jump.
That's why I love to get this on athletes for the first time, to get that first reaction from them. It's magical. One of the other most important benefits and features of this boot is you can walk in it. You can be more mobile in it. For this particular design of the midsole and outsole was to increase the toe spring in the front and add a heel spring in the back. And because of that, when the athletes do put it on, it actually feels even lighter. And that's exactly what we were after, whether that it was smooth when they're walking, feels relatively lighter when they're actually picking their feet up and going to their next step.
I think we look at a performance shoe in terms of how lightweight and responsive and the cushioning and the traction of a shoe. But there's another lens that we could look through that looks at the athlete's whole journey. And we have to prepare the athlete in the warm-up phase and repair the athlete in the recovery phase so that when they get into that competition shoe, their body's in the optimal state to move.